Hi folks, Michael O'Doherty here. Well, stress and anxiety seems to be the order of the day. Everybody nowadays seems to be stressed and anxious. And of course, they have good reason to be. The present climate isn't conducive to many to being healthy, to being happy, and so on. Now, how you dealt with stress and anxiety in the past is obviously going to come to the fore right now, because what stress does and anxiety does, it diminishes our ability to be creative and to be self-motivated. The way you dealt with it in the past is programmed deep within the very depths of your mind, and if you dealt with that, your stress, on a day-to-day basis in a negative way, well, that will come surging forward. You adapt to that way of living and you engage in a behavior that is self-destructive. Buddha says that, our mind shapes our life, and indeed that is so true. We become what we think. And the dialogue that you are having right now is going to either be lifting you up or pulling you down. That self-talk that we have every day affects how we live our day. So the way that you have to think about it now, are you going to react in the same way as you did in the past, or indeed are you going to change? And there are very simple ways that we can change what we do. The first thing you have to think about is this time of the year, the autumn. The trees shed their leaves. The human being also interacts with nature, and it interacts with the seasons. And right now, if you were just to decide, either yourself, a member of your family, or indeed all of your family, were just to go out and bathe in the forest. There is such a therapy called forest bathing. And if you were just to go out and bathe in the forest, what does that mean? Well, that means or in a wood, or indeed just go for a walk by the road, or indeed if you're fortunate to be near a tree or a wood or whatever the case may be, or near nature in any way, shape or form. Get out and notice the way that colors are changing in the leaves. We see the trees shedding the leaves. Look at the colors on the ground and on the trees themselves. Become aware of the aromas from the pine trees and the flowers. Notice the black and the red berries on the briars. Listen to the types of birds that are around right now, no matter what type of bird they are. Just consciously become aware of nature as you walk, and become conscious of the colors, the sounds, and the aromas. The great thing about that is that it helps us to resonate with that natural frequency. And when we're aware, when we're conscious, when we're in the moment and connected to that frequency, it can be very, very powerful. That sense of connection to nature is what we need right now in this present climate. Viktor Frankl survived 4 years in a concentration camp, and he's a great admirer of mine, because I often wonder what it must have been like, and the stress and the trauma that he would have encountered, and how he endured the type of stress and trauma in those concentration camps. And he has some amazing quotes, but the one thing that helped him to survive was that every day he got up and he asked himself this question: who needs me? I ask myself that question now every day as well. And this is something I'd like you to do, added to going out and bathing in the forest. Ask yourself this question when you wake up in the morning: who needs you? And if we all ask ourselves that question, or if you all ask yourself that question, then you'll find somebody needs you. It might be your husband, your wife, your partner, your child, your mom, your dad, your employee, your employer, but somebody needs you. And this can be the self-motivation that you need to get up and face the world, to know that somebody out there needs us. And I think if we can in some way, start our day with something positive, a positive quote, that today is a new day, it's a new beginning, it's a new opportunity. And sometimes we're afraid of engaging in that new opportunities, because the present climate rocks us. And what I would say to you is that there are opportunities there right now for you, but the only way that those creative opportunities are going to emerge if you disconnect from your old way of responding to stress. Right now, people tend to believe that, we are in a way nearly imprisoned. We're only allowed to go 5 kilometers. We can't go to certain shops and all of this kind of stuff. The one thing that hasn't been taken from you is your freedom to react, your freedom to respond. And if you respond to your stress now like the way you did in the past, in a negative way and negative behaviors, well, then expect the same outcome. But if you decide to do just what I just asked you to do, ask yourself that question in the morning: who needs you? Become aware that what you're thinking and what you're feeling is creating the new you. If you go out and bathe in the forest and connect to those aromas and and sense those aromas and sense that frequency and connection to nature, this can be very powerful, because then you can start to unlock within you that creative ability to be somebody different and to experience the great change that can take place. Right now, we're all striving to be happy. And again, Viktor Frankl says, happiness is like chasing a butterfly. The more we run after it, the more it flies away. It is only until we sit down and become still that the butterfly lands on our shoulder. And how true that is in modern day life. No matter what we chase in life, what happens is it gets further away. And here is an opportunity over these number of weeks for you to sit, to become still, to connect to nature, to reprogram your brain, your mind differently than you did in the past. And if you did, that becomes your default program. So going forward, if you become stressed and anxious, this is what will unlock itself. So I'm urging you now and your families not to be sitting down at home on TV, on social media, on platforms that are negative, eating the wrong types of foods and then regretting that in a few weeks' time. I'm asking you now to begin to change your behavior and how you respond to your stress. And if you do exactly as I tell you to do, you're going to find that you're going to emerge out of this much happier, much more content and better prepared for anything that's to come for the future. Have a wonderful weekend and just get out and embrace nature. Thank you.